In the industry, and in society in general, it's not until someone passes away that people will come out in droves ready to tell the world just how much they loved and cherished that person. And often, all the negativity that person went through gets swept under the rug and buried deep, as people just want to focus on uplifting their memory. Well, in part 5 of the Aaliyah series, we're going to address the mess and disrespect Aaliyah endured throughout her career. And I'm just going to leave this trigger warning right here, because I don't think y'all are truly ready for it. But now is the time to get mentally prepared, because I'll be dropping dimes and receipts. One thing I will say is that throughout the drama, Aaliyah always kept it humble, classy, and graceful. When 15-year-old Aaliyah hit the scene with her debut album in 1994, the allegations surrounding her relationship and alleged marriage to 27-year-old R. Kelly somewhat ruined her reputation. Regardless of the fact that the man literally groomed young Aaliyah since she was 12 and 13 years old, still Aaliyah had been painted as this fast young girl who had rebelled her way into wedding a grown man and allegedly becoming pregnant by him. Rumors swirled the tabloids, and her entire debut era, from late 94 through early 96, became shrouded in gossip and controversy. She was continually asked her age and whether or not the marriage was real, and she would give vague and short answers.
It's going around. It's like I just never really say it, so you can't hear it from me. But I'm in my mid-teens.
Mid-teens, okay. I suppose you could define that either way.
You know, 15, 16, 17.
They were saying all kinds of things about, oh, Aaliyah's married.
Right. I just say, well, you know, I say no.
Well, she may say no, but this marriage certificate shows that last August, Aaliyah and R. Kelly said yes. But hold on a sec. How old did she say she was again?
I'm in my mid-teens. 15, 16, 17.
So if she says mid-teens, the certificate says 18 and her record company 15, how old is Aaliyah? Maybe the reason she's keeping quiet is because if proved she's a minor, her marriage to R. Kelly will be null and void.
But that wasn't enough for some spectators, and Aaliyah had to beef up on security after people would run up on her and badger her with even more questions and accusations. Though at the time she was never seen as a victim, and even in recent years, her co-star, Isaiah Washington, from her first film Romeo Must Die, stated that she was very much in control of that entire situation.
I think she was in control of that situation, even at her age, 100%.
At 15?
Oh, yeah. Well, I say she was mature beyond her age. Like, that's all, age ain't nothing but a number.
Name her first album, yeah.
You know, she was 15 going on 30. Easy. So she was in control of that whole situation.
Because many people shared his mentality, she would become blackballed for a time, as parents of teenagers didn't think she was a good role model, and certain promoters didn't want to take any chances on her. At the 1995 Soul Train Awards, whenever Aaliyah's name was mentioned as a nominee, the crowd would boo her, and while it wasn't apparent in that moment just why, it is widely believed that the overall negativity surrounding her image was the reason. I found an old Google web sleuth from February of 1996, in which a user was asking others on the message board why Aaliyah was booed the year prior, and all of the replies agreed that it had to do with the R. Kelly situation, and her only being 15 at that time. Aaliyah was eventually forced to finally speak on the situation. Sitting down with Sister to Sister, and its owner, Jamie Foster Brown, straight out asked her, "How did you feel when you were booed at the Soul Train Awards last year?" Aaliyah had replied, "Well, I wasn't there, but I heard about it. That's why I feel it's important to come out and say what happened, because I feel that the fans need to know. That's a reason why, because they don't know what really happened. That's why I feel it's cool to talk to you, so that you can let them know I have no connection with that anymore. That was a negative, but that's over with now and I'm moving on with my life. It did surprise me, but I understand why." And Jamie replied, "It's good that you understood," which caused Aaliyah's father, Michael, to jump in and say, "But then too, what is not really being looked at is the manipulation." And I think that Aaliyah needs to address that to young people coming up in this business. Manipulation is a very key word in this business. I'm a grown man and I've learned about it. So I'm not coming like I'm all seeing and all knowing, but you can see that you can be manipulated, and they try to manipulate the press. The press could have gotten mad at Aaliyah. It was my decision to keep my daughter quiet, and you can quote that. Aaliyah is coming out now because we feel it's the best time, and she's coming out to a credible person like yourself. So she's here talking to Jamie Brown about what the real deal is. The real deal is that there was manipulation going on. Now around this time, Aaliyah would also catch a stray from R&B singer and industry peer, Brandy, who said in an interview that the way Aaliyah dressed was too grown and that her mother would never approve, which is why she herself maintained a positive age-appropriate image in comparison to Aaliyah. Now, Aaliyah, being the gentle, loving soul that she was, would take the high road in her response.
Oh, you know what? I said that all the controversy was over, but there was one other thing. Brandy said some things that were said. Now, what did you hear what she actually...
I caught wind of some of it, but I don't pay much attention to that. I think there's room out here for all of us, so good luck, Brandy.
Ladies are professional.
Now, after this, the two would meet and become very good friends. When Brandy won the award over Aaliyah at the Lady of Soul Awards that same year, Aaliyah would send her flowers in congratulations, and Brandy was taken aback by the kind gesture.
I want to give a shout out to my girl Aaliyah. I love you, girl, really, I do. I'm a big fan. And I just want to say thank you. Bye-bye.
But still, the industry tried to pit these two against one another. Aaliyah's bodyguard at the time, Art Davis, said that there was a bit of miscommunication at one of their shows.
I did work with Aaliyah back in the day, and what I most remember about her is we did a concert at Lassiter Howell Park, and on the show was Brandy and Aaliyah, and they had a little falling out because Brandy wanted to close, and Aaliyah told, "Oh no, this is my hometown. I'm closing."
No, she didn't, did she?
Yes, she did. She said, "I'm closing. You can't come to Detroit and close my show."
So what did Brandy do?
God. Brandy had to suck it up and open it up.
Also, years later, Aaliyah was given a script for Scary Movie and was to portray a parody of Brandy.
Well, one time I got sent the script actually for Scary Movie, but it was a little bit different when I received it. It changed a lot by the time they made it, and it was a parody on the Scream movies. And I Know What You Did Last Summer, and they actually had a character. It was the Brandy character, and they wanted me to play Brandy and kind of do a parody of her, and I just I actually liked the script. I thought it was really funny, but I didn't want anybody to take like I was disrespecting her in any way, so I actually didn't do it. And it turned out to be a really funny movie, but that was like the weirdest thing that anyone had ever asked me to do.
Okay.
Thankfully, the two were able to maintain a cordial friendship up until Aaliyah's unfortunate demise. But in the meantime, she was still subject to scrutiny. She had always maintained an alluring mystique about her, which led people to speculate, because as Left Eye put it, if they don't have a story, they'll make one up. And because she wore her famous hair swoop throughout her first two albums, covering one eye, and wore sunshades on many occasions, people assumed that she had a lazy eye, or even a glass eye. The rumors got so bad that interviewers questioned her about it often.
Tell us about the one eye thing.
One eye thing. There's been a lot of rumors about it, but my eye is cool. It's just I love to wear my swoop in my eye. So it's just a hairstyle, really.
Well, cool. We're gonna shoot to your video right now.
Also, the rumors about her being fast led some male rappers to think that they could just step to her any old kind of way, or insert themselves into rumors involving her. For instance, rapper Eminem, who is known for his vulgar and at times vile lyrics, would drop a joint called Get You Mad, in which he rapped a bunch of crude lines about different women in the industry in an attempt to get them mad. And in one line, he rapped, "All three of my main girls said see ya, cause Brandy and Monica walked in and caught me screwing Aaliyah." Now Aaliyah, Tim, and Missy would attend Eminem's album release party the year after, and it's been said that she made him apologize for what he said. Even though he dissed many women on that song, Aaliyah wasn't having it. And according to some people who were in attendance, he had apologized profusely. But still, the audacity. In May of 2001, ESPN reported that Shaquille O'Neal had told LA's Power 106 FM that he had slept with tennis player Venus Williams, model Cindy Crawford, and rap star Aaliyah. First of all, not every black music artist is a rapper. I can't stand when they do that. But either way it went, Shaq would be called out on his lies by all three women and was forced to publicly apologize, saying, "The guys who were with me in the studio knew that I was laughing, but I guess they didn't take it as a joke, and I apologize. But those that know me, my good friends, they know I'm a comedian, and if I hurt your feelings, I apologize." In an interview with Black Voices, Aaliyah was asked whether or not she had a comment for Shaq's unfunny joke, and Aaliyah replied, "No comment, that was addressed and handled." She was then asked just who was she dating, and she revealed that she would like to keep her affairs private, and I don't think she ever publicly claimed Dame as her boyfriend, at least not on record. But let's get into the records, shall we? Around 1999, rapper Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony dropped a song called This Beef, which featured his baby mama, a rapper named Larice, and for her verse, she threw shots at other female artists, allegedly Eve, Amil, and Tamar Braxton. And on the last verse, she threw a shot at Aaliyah.
Around town, have you seen her on the back of a court and you in that skinny trap Aaliyah, bitch?
spaghetti. Come and get it.
Now, Aaliyah had been on tour with Bone Thugs and Harmony for the Superfest in 1997, but outside of this, it's not known the correlation between the two parties. Clearly, this was some behind-the-scenes drama going on. Also in 1999, Aaliyah and Static Major would go on to produce a song called Loose Rap, which would later appear on her third album. And on the breakdown, she sang, "Too many times I hear you try to knock in my crew. Well, we got something for all the fools. It ain't just rhythm and blues. If you just quit trying to compete, no telling what you could be. Might even be doper than me." I doubt it. Now, many fans have expressed that they felt that was a clear and clever response, but Baby Girl kept it evasive enough for you to never truly know. Though nothing more came of this beef, at least not between Aaliyah and Larice. Now, as far as the other artists mentioned, it's not entirely clear. And of course, Aaliyah had her fair share of awkward moments on the camera. During MTV's New Year's Eve countdown into 1999, while all of the other co-hosts revealed their New Year's kisses, like Jennifer Love Hewitt and Carson Daly, Ananda Lewis, among others, Aaliyah tried to shoot her shot, but her male co-star fumbled big time.
Who's your fantasy smooch at midnight?
How about you?
Oh, you're such a liar, but I love it. I love it. We'll see what we can do, Aaliyah. She's lying.
Who you trying to kiss when the clock strikes 12?
Well, I heard you were taken, so I'm gonna have to go with Aaliyah.
Is that what you heard?
I heard you were taken.
Well, David's outside with the woman you want to kiss. Let's see what she says. Aaliyah.
99
New Year,
is
baby.
in. Did you get your 99 New Year's kiss?
I got it.
Yeah, I got one too. I got a good long one from Billy Joe from Green Day.
I got a cute little one on the cheek from Green Day.
When Aaliyah won her first VMA for her hit single, Try Again, Ricky Martin, I guess, was unfamiliar with her name.
The award goes to Aaliyah, Try Again.
Aaliyah would later arrive at the MTV Movie Awards in 2001, where they announced that she'd be starring in the upcoming Rush Hour 2, instead of the upcoming Matrix sequel, which she was actually starring in. And again, as they messed stuff up, she smiled and waved. And later that night, she and Diddy presented the award for Best Dance Sequence, which went to Cameron Diaz for her dancing in the film Charlie's Angels, a film that Aaliyah had auditioned for but didn't get the part because she supposedly was too young. Actresses Nia Long and Thandie Newton would later come out and say that they too auditioned, but were met with racism and ageism as well. The role ended up going to Lucy Liu.
Where are you going tomorrow?
I'm going to London.
Really, to do?
Premiere for Romeo Must Die. Yeah.
Good luck over there. Have a good night. We'll see you again soon. Okay, bye-bye. Back to you on the marquee. What's happening up there?
Thanks a lot, Kurt. I'm just trying to calculate the frequent flyer miles that Aaliyah is getting now. She flew all the way from Australia to be here tonight.
22,000.
And now she's, thank you.
That's a price of fame, though.
And now she's going all the way to London for the premiere of Romeo Must Die. This woman's going to fly free for the rest of her life.
Now, if you thought people were extra or even disrespectful before her death, after her death was when they really started to show their rear end. When Aaliyah's plane went down in August of 2001, you had numerous reports falsely stating that she was warned of the massive weight, but demanded that her luggage fly anyways, which later caused the plane to crash. With this, hundreds of comments would flood different message boards, dissing Aaliyah, and stating that she got exactly what she deserved. And ha ha ha, there goes another loudmouth diva, 6 feet under, who should have just shut her mouth and listened to the pilot. Now mind you, these comments mostly came from incels, bigots, and ignoramuses who had no previous knowledge of who Aaliyah was prior to any of this. The biggest think piece came from the New York Post, in which writer Rod Dreher put out an article called "Sure, her death is tragic, but this is too much," in regards to her funeral in New York City. The funeral itself was beautiful with a horse-drawn carriage and the release of 22 doves, but Rod had referred to it as traffic snarling and in honor of a pop singer who most people had never heard of. He felt that such a gesture was reserved for public figures of great distinction, mentioning the likes of John F. Kennedy, Princess Diana, and Mother Teresa. And because he and his office buddies, who co-signed the article, weren't familiar with Aaliyah's work, he didn't feel that she was of importance enough to receive the funeral and that it was as the result of extreme celebrity worship. He also quoted her lyrics from I Care For You and Hot Like Fire as being somewhat lackluster when compared to the poetries written by the great Lord Byron, someone he felt was far more deserving of the grand funeral he had received. And he also felt that, quote, the family of Aaliyah, a beloved daughter but undistinguished singer of forgettable pop songs, does the poor woman's memory no favors with this tasteless gesture. Now, the New York Post is huge, and when the black community got a hold of that article, they lit a fire under his ass. Over the weekend, his voicemail racked up over 200 angry voice messages filled with threats, as they knew where his office was and what he looked like because his picture was posted with the article. The office got floods of emails requesting that he be fired and that the Post redact the article, or at least issue an apology. Something. But the editor-in-chief, Colonel Allen, was quoted as saying, "I stand by Rod Dreher. He had a right to express an opinion." Oh, the black community was not going for that. And the leader of the pack, Reverend Al Sharpton, had put out a statement saying, "I'm outraged, and I think all decent people are outraged." He held a press conference following a rally honoring the memory of Aaliyah at his Harlem headquarters, in which he also said, "We will bring down anybody who tells us how to mourn our own. To say that she was less than someone else is abysmal, insulting, and racist. What do you mean horse carriages shouldn't be used? Doves shouldn't fly? What you really mean is that we should have a nice little negro funeral." He then called on the Post to apologize to Aaliyah's family and the black community and take measures against the writer and all of those who approved the column. Rod would fire back, however, stating that he would have said the same thing had it been Paul McCartney, Madonna, or Britney Spears, and that he should have used Martin Luther King as an example of someone who was deserving of the grand funeral. It's always MLK that's the example. Like, he's always the go-to when someone wants to claim they're not being racial. But anyway, by the following week, his answering machine voicemail went as followed. "Hi, it's Rod Dreher at the New York Post. If you're calling about the Aaliyah column, press 1 to leave a death threat, press 2 to leave a BOMB threat, press 3 if you want to get me fired, press 4 if you wish to use profanity." And the list went on, all the while encouraging his callers to speak as grammatically correct as possible. The little stinker. And the New York Post had to double down on security and post guards outside the newsroom. Rod, who went on to blog for the American Conservative, would years later publish an article on the site titled "The Cost of Sanctimony," where he stated that for over 10 days he was in paranoia, keeping his head down when riding the subway to and from work, and how whenever he was in public and a black man came within 10 feet of him, he thought, "Could this be one of the people who made threats to me?" And ultimately he had to take time off and stayed locked up in his apartment, not going anywhere, hoping and praying that no one would track him back to his place of residence and make good on their promise. In a bitter twist of irony, what saved him was the 9/11 attacks, as that shook up the entire country and even the world, and gave everyone a chance to get off his back and get on to worrying about national threats. What a relief, eh? Another person who took shots at Aaliyah was the Hot 97 radio host by the name of Star, who upon hearing the news of Aaliyah's death had played sound bites of a plane crashing and women screaming on his broadcast in mockery of her death. People lit into him as well, and the station had made him take a leave of absence. He was angry as there were petitions to remove him from the radio permanently, but his defense was that, for one, they had warned Aaliyah about the luggage and she said fly anyway, as if that somehow made it okay. And then he tried to say, well, I have humor like Howard Stern, and if Howard gets away with it, so should I. Now, Aaliyah had been interviewed by Howard's close associate at that time, named Gary Carver, in a very inappropriate and uncomfortable interview.
Would you ever do full frontal nudity in a movie?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Not really thinking about that right now. It would totally depend on the project if it was done tastefully. I don't think so, though, no.
Would you ever get breast implants?
No.
Would you ever pose naked for Playboy?
Oh my God, these questions. I mean, yeah, they're totally out of bounds. I'm saying the purpose. I don't get it.
Rockin' ball?
Pardon? Pardon?
Would you ever date Howard Stern?
Howard Stern, I think he's the bomb.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, but Howard himself had quite a bit to say about Aaliyah after her passing, and it ain't all good.
I guess some DJ on Hot 97 or something.
Star?
Yeah, whoever that is.
I don't know. Star and Buck Wild.
One of the DJs got on the air and played a plane crash sound effect of Aaliyah. Aaliyah, the girl who died in the plane crash?
Well, he was talking about it and they did the
Yeah. All right. But Aaliyah went down in a small plane, and the reason she went down is, like many people in show business now, they go around with these big fat black bodyguards who I don't even know what your training is as a bodyguard.
You're just big. If you fall on somebody, you'll hurt.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I see this, I go to some showbiz parties, people walk in, anybody who's really big, big star, they walk in with fat black people. Obese black men. And I'm not even sure these guys can handle themselves.
Or move very fast if you need them to go fast.
I think Aaliyah just want to look skinny.
He claimed the plane was brought down by big black bodyguards, when in fact, the 3 heaviest weighted passengers on the plane were not of African descent. He claimed that he was upset because he didn't get a chance to sleep with Aaliyah before she died.
It was sad to see Aaliyah go because I always thought I was going to hook up with this chick.
Aaliyah.
Whatever. And I had a fantasy that one day I would have sex with her. I'm not kidding.
You waited too long.
I did. I thought I could have gotten her because she had nice things to say about me.
There's a lesson here. Don't wait.
And if that wasn't enough, Aaliyah's boyfriend, Dame Dash, and business associate Jay-Z, co-founders of Rockefeller Records, had so much beef with other dynasties at this point that the death of Aaliyah had become an easy low blow for opponents to just throw out in their rhymes for shock value. In their heavily publicized beef with the Lox, a rap trio that was not to be played with, things would get heated when group member Jadakiss responded in a diss song called Jigga That Nick, where he rapped, "But this is a man's world, y'all Nick keep effing with Kiss, I see to it you visit your man's chick," followed by the sound of an engine, which could be described as belonging to a car or a plane. You can find out if the Gates is pearly, early, basically responding to Jay-Z, saying that they was gonna send him to be with Aaliyah up in the heavens. And rumors also swirled for many years that another member of the group, rapper Styles P, dropped a diss where he rapped, rock the boat, now it's one less chick in a rock-aware coat," which was so disrespectful. But it later came out that the dudes on the record were actually some underground cats who were mimicking Styles in an attempt to drum up some drama. Styles himself was quoted as saying, "I just heard it, and all I have to say is, when did I ever have that flow? When was I ever whack?" Over the years, as debates have gone on about whether or not Aaliyah would be relevant, and as fans fought for her music to be released on platforms, her legacy would be tainted by a pathetic Lifetime movie, and when they tried to do something nice, like release a MAC collection or a wax figure, people would use the MAC collection to draw on the wax figure, and eventually vandalized it, causing Madame Tussauds Wax Museum to take it off display for a few months. Thankfully it didn't stay away forever, but damn, this is why we can't have nice things. Now a new Aaliyah album is on the way. We shall see what surprises it holds. Hopefully they won't taint her legacy any worse than they already have with the previous releases, like that crappy single that they did with The Weeknd. Oh man. Anyways, this video was just a peek into some of the many negative ways that baby girl and her namesake were treated over the years. Let me know in the comments if I forgot anything, or list any other negative stories that you heard where people were disrespecting baby girl in the comments below. Oh, and I will be dropping a part 6 at some point later in the year. Just what about? You'll have to find out. But for now, this is Justified by Jury. Y'all know how to hit that like and that subscribe. If you want to, do so. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.